Unfortunately for everyone, as they arrived on the island, Mrs. Cynthia Yeo was already there with her claws out. "This is a total disaster, Timothy, and I hold you completely responsible," she screeched. Dr. Timothy sighed. "Good morning, Cynthia. Do you know why there was a TV camera waiting for us at the Changi terminal?" Cynthia's hand immediately went to her perfect coiffed hair. "Really, TV cameras? I may have mentioned I'd do a press conference." Dr. Timothy's first patience was disappearing by the minute. "Cynthia, I don't think that is a good idea at all. Firstly, I am the director of the park, and if anyone's going to make a statement, it should be me. And secondly, well, frankly, I'm amazed you're trying to throw your weight around when you cannot even look after a few cold-blooded creatures. The large lizard's disappearance is a disaster, and I am sure it's been caused by that last-minute construction work you insisted happened in the python enclosure. That reinforced fencing was necessary for safety reasons," Dr. Timothy said, exasperated. Cynthia was now shouting, "The fact is, our attraction is missing, and you better comb every inch of this island and find it fast before our sponsors take their money and disappear too." Dr. Timothy looked defeated. "Yes, of course." Mrs. Yeo looked momentarily triumphant and then turned to the Irwins, who'd been watching the whole encounter. She smiled sweetly at them. "I am so looking forward to seeing you at the gala dinner this evening. I doubt that Timothy," she gestured dismissively in his direction, "will be able to come now. But don't worry, I'll make sure you're looked after. See you there at 7. She tapped Robert on the nose and patted Bindi on the head and tottered off on her ridiculously high heels. If the whole thing hadn't been so awful, Terry might have laughed. Her children looked like they were going to explode. 5 hours later, the Irwins and Dr. Timothy met up outside Saffron's empty enclosure. We have looked everywhere, Dr. Timothy. Saffron just seems to have disappeared," Bindi said, wiping sweat from her brow. "Singapore was even more humid than Queensland." Robert was extremely disappointed. "I can always find reptiles, Dr. Timothy. I know where a croc will be hiding out in a river, or where a blue tongue will be hiding in the garden. I was sure I'd find a lizard the size of Saffron on an island." He shook his head, worried. "Maybe I've lost my touch." Dr. Timothy patted him on the back. "I doubt it, Robert. I agree with you. It's like Saffron's just vanished into thin air. I could have sworn there was no way she could get out of her enclosure. Komodo dragons are arboreal when they're young. That means we know," piped up Bindi. "They live in trees. But once they are older, they are mainly terrestrial, which means they live on the land," finished Robert. Terry smiled proudly at the kids. "I think I might hire your kids as guides, Terry. They know more about reptiles than most adults, that's for sure." He glanced at his watch. "You guys need to head back to your hotel and get ready for the gala dinner," he said. Bindi and Robert turned to Terry, looking hopeful. "Shouldn't we stay here and help, Mom?" Dr. Timothy answered. "I'll need you to be at the dinner on my behalf, especially if Bindi can distract the media as well as she did this morning." Bindi voiced the question they were all reluctant to ask. What will happen if Saffron doesn't turn up before the morning, Dr. Timothy? He sighed a large, exhausted sigh. I don't know. I don't think we can open without Saffron, and although she has the sweetest nature, who knows what might happen if someone who doesn't know about tomatoes ran into her. Terry tried to reassure him. It won't come to that, Timothy. She will turn up, I know. Keep those positive thoughts coming and enjoy the dinner. I will stay here and keep searching. Robert said under his breath to Bindi. I'd rather run into a hungry Komodo than Mrs. Yeo any day. Me too, much less chance of getting attacked, added Bindi dryly.